So right here, I have a pack of playing cards. Now this deck can be shuffled up as much as we want it to be, so I will go ahead and mix up the deck thoroughly, also allowing the spectator to mix up the deck as well until they are satisfied with the conditions of this trick. So once they're happy, we're going to begin. So I'm going to spread through the deck, and they can go ahead and name any card they want as I go by. For this example, let's say they decide to name the 5 of diamonds, but again, this is a 100% free choice. I'll even ask them, was there any particular reason why you decided to name the card that you did? And most of the time, spectators will say, nah, there really wasn't any apparent reason why I chose my card. It was usually just a random decision, and that's completely fine. But anyways, once they have a card locked in their brain, we're going to start randomizing this trick even more. We're both going to shuffle up the deck to make this truly, fair as possible. And so we're going to split the deck into approximately 2 equal halves here. It doesn't need to be exact, but it is what it is. And essentially, we're both going to shuffle our own halves. So I'll shuffle my half a little bit. The spectator will shuffle their half simultaneously. Doesn't make a huge difference. And once the spectator is satisfied with how much they've mixed their half, then we can move on. So we only need to use 1 half for this trick, and we'll use the spectator's half, so there's no way that I could have cheated or anything like that. So with this half, we're going to deal out 3 piles of cards, and each pile is going to add up to a total of 10. Aces are worth 1, jacks, queens, and kings are worth 10. Everything else is its own face value. You'll understand how this works as we go through. So we have a 7, 8, 9, 10. Get it already? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have some extra cards here, so we don't need those. So let's recap. Both of us mixed up the deck thoroughly before we did absolutely anything. I then spread through the cards, allowed you to think of any card that you wanted. From there, we split the deck into 2 approximately equal halves. I shuffled mine, you shuffled yours, making this completely random. And then we randomly dealt out your half into 3 piles and arrived with 3 specific numbers: 7, 4, and 3. 7 plus 3 is 10, plus 4 is 14. How crazy would it be right now, after all we've been through, if the card that you're thinking of is in the 14th position down in the deck right now? I think that'd be pretty crazy. At this point, the spectator picks up the deck, and they can deal out 14 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And the 14th card, ladies and gentlemen, should hopefully not just be any card, but your card, the 5 of diamonds. Anyways, guys, that was the trick. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. So now, let's get straight into the tutorial. Alright guys, hopefully you stuck around for the tutorial. So before we get into the mechanics, I do just want to give you a little bit of background on how I came up with this effect. So it's a semi-original trick. There's a very old trick that I learned on YouTube a long time ago. It's called the Nonsensical card trick. It's on MissMag822's channel. I'll leave a link to that original video in the description box below. And it's a weird trick. It's cool, but it's a weird trick. So I took that trick, I made my own little original version on it, so now it's more of like an any card at any number type routine. Technically, this is more of a card at any number rather than any card at any number. All you advanced magicians know that there's a difference. But yeah, either way, I think it's a much more newer and improved version. I highly recommend you check out the original video, come back here, and then let me know your opinions. Do you like this version better, or do you like the original version better? Let me know. But anyways, let's get into the handling. So you're going to go ahead and grab yourself a pack of playing cards. This can be shuffled up as much as you want it to be. And I should mention that you do need exactly 52 cards or this trick is not going to work. So make sure you remove your jokers, add cards, and all that good stuff. And don't have any cards missing. So the main idea is you're going to have a spectator choose a card, and you need to control it into the 7th position from the top of the deck. Now I'm going to go over a number of different ways that you can do this. So you can physically have a spectator pick a card from the deck. In this case, we have the 3 of hearts. And you're going to get a break underneath the top 6 cards. Now, you can do this in a couple of different ways. You can quickly just kind of spread through the cards and say, do you think you really could have picked any card in the entire deck? And then all you got to do is square up on the break, and now, boom, you have a break on 6 cards. Or, if you want to, you can pinky count the cards as well. So you can have them choose the card, keep the deck turned out nonchalantly, and then you can just pinky count all 6 cards as you're talking to the spectator about what's going to happen later on in this trick. That is also completely fine too. I just pinky counted 6 cards right there. But essentially, once you have the break, you're going to perform, there's 2 different moves you can do from here. You can either do a Marlowe tilt, which is essentially just pushing some cards out of the middle and then sliding that card into the gap that you've created with the break. And you can see from the front that actually looks like it's going into the middle of the deck. You can square everything up and then maybe a little dribble as a convincer. And yeah, that is a really good way to control the card, as you can see, into the 7th position from the top. Now, another thing you can do once you have acquired the break, you can perform one of my favorite moves in card magic, the bluff pass. So you spread through the deck, they're choosing a card. You get your break, and once you have the break, essentially the bluff pass, you're going to riffle down and say, go ahead and call out stop. They call out stop. Well, now you're not actually going to lift up the deck where they say stop. You're going to close the gap, and you're going to lift up just the top 6 cards. But the key is your 4 fingers are going to be here covering the front edge so they can't see the thickness of this packet. And from the front, it really looks like that you're lifting up exactly where they said stop. So they say stop, you do this little illusion, tell them to place the card back, so they will, they place the card in there, you slap the 6 cards on top, and then dribble from the center, and it's a really nice illusion that looks like you placed it right in the center of the deck, when in reality, you've just placed the card, can I count? Yes, into the 7th position from the top. Now, the way that I did it in the performance was a spread call control. Now, I actually, for whatever reason, didn't even think to use this. I was actually on a video chat with a really good friend of mine. He's got a YouTube channel. It's Cardmaster X. I'll link his channel in the description box below. Big shout out to him, one of my best friends to this day. He actually recommended that I use the spread call because we were talking about this again on a video chat. And I really liked the idea, hence why I used it in the performance. So essentially what you do is you spread through the cards and tell the spectator to name any card as you go through. And this makes it more powerful. You're having them name a card rather than physically take a card out of the deck. So you're spreading through, let's say the spectator names the 9 of spades. So I'm not going to go over the call in depth. I'll leave a link in the description box below to a spread call tutorial if you need one. But essentially all you would be doing is you would use a little bit of misdirection. You would call the 9 out of the deck just as so. And then again, you're spreading through, casually talking to the spectator. And as you're spreading, you're now going to eyeball 6 cards from the top, which I can see is right here. This is 6 cards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep spreading, and I'm going to slide that called card in to that 7th position as I square up the deck. And you should hopefully see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 of spades right there in the 7th position. So that's how I did it. But again, it's a very subjective trick. You can control the card into the 7th position however you want to. But anyways, the 9 of spades will be the card that we use for tutorial purposes. So once you're here, you're now going to say, okay, it's all fair, blah, blah, blah. Use whatever pattern you want. And now you're going to split the deck roughly in half for both of the deck to shuffle. Now, why I put quotations on roughly is it's not roughly. You're actually splitting the deck exactly in half, 26 and 26. Now, technically, you could just turn the deck face down because you don't want to disturb the top, and you could just count out 26 cards. But it's a little more powerful if there is no counting involved or you're not looking at certain cards. Essentially, all you need to do is turn the deck sideways like this and split the deck exactly in half. Practice this. For those of you who are beginners, simply just practice splitting a deck in half and moving some cards over if you have to. And look at the piles until they look like they have the exact same thickness, and you'll be able to know if you've nailed it or not. So right now, I split the deck right here, and I think that's good. Sometimes if I'm not sure, I'll move 1 card over and I'll see if anything changes. So if I move that 1 card over, it's hard for you guys to tell on camera, but I can tell that this packet is slightly thicker than this packet, so I know that's too many. Right here, I think I actually nailed it as soon as I split it. Again, you're not going to nail it every time you split it exactly, so when you split it, just move a couple cards over and play with the thickness. But I can tell right here, these thicknesses are exactly the same. So, once you split it, 26 and 26, you're going to give the top packet to yourself, and you're going to give the bottom half to the spectator. Again, that all requires practice. Splitting the deck, looking at the thickness of both piles, and determining when they are exactly equal. There's no real tips I can give you on that. You just need to do it several times and practice it until you get it. And look, I'll even prove it just to be safe. You can see right here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just as you can see. So I nailed it exactly, which obviously means there's 26 over there. So you just need to practice that until you nail it, all right? So once you can practice that, you nail 26 and 26, again, you give yourself the top packet and you give the bottom packet to the spectator. The spectator can shuffle their pile as much as they want because there's nothing crazy about it. But again, you have their card over here in the 7th position. So you can just shuffle off one card at a time from the bottom of the deck and just put them back on the bottom. Just keep repeating this process. It looks like you're mixing up the deck when in reality you're not disturbing the top 7 cards, okay? So once you're done with that, you have two options. I like to simply just set my pile off to the side and say, we only need to use one half. Let's use your pile, just so you don't think I could have cheated with my pile. But if you don't simply want to do that, you can go into like a whole magician's choice, which is, okay, go ahead and choose one of the two halves. You only need to use one. If they choose the pile that is not the pile with their card in it, you say, okay, perfect, we'll use that. If they choose the other pile that has the card in it, just say, okay, perfect, hand it to me. They hand it to you. You put it off to the side. We'll use this one. So magician's choice, it's very simple. So once you're left with this pile here, you're going to go through the whole counting process. So just explain the rules to the spectator however way that you wish, but aces are worth 1, jacks, queens, and kings are worth 10, and number cards are their own face value. You're doing this 3 times, you're going to make the piles worth 10. And I don't really know how to explain it. Mathematically at this point, the trick just works. It just works itself out. So watch. 8. So you want to make it worth 10, so you're going to put 2 face down cards. 9, 10. Ace. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. King is worth 10. So again, you've done your 3 piles. You're going to have leftover cards. You place them on top of the other pile off to the side. Go through a whole recap. But now look. King is worth 10. 8 is obviously 8. 1, so we have 10, 8, and 1. That makes 19. Again, I don't know necessarily how it works. Just mathematically, now their card is going to be in the 19th position down after adding the random cards. And what I love about this is the spectator can pick up this pile and they can deal the cards face up on the table themselves. No extra sleight of hand is needed. So let's double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and the 19th card is our 9 of spades. And yeah, that is essentially it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I think I went over everything pretty good. I think I explained everything pretty thoroughly if you ask me. But as always, please do not hesitate to comment any questions that you may have in the comment section below. I don't want you guys to be left confused for any reason whatsoever. But anyways, that's it, and I will see you guys all for the next video. Cardtrix signing off. Peace out.